What up YouTube, it's your boy Anime Specialist. So this episode was confusing as fuck, bro. I don't know what the hell happened, but in last week's episode we saw that Kirito was injected by something that stopped his heart by one of the death god guy. My theory last week is that they were going to put him into the STL world, the underworld, to save his life, but it seems like he doesn't really know what's happening right now because he still have his memories from the real world, but he doesn't have the memories from the underworld when he was a kid with Yu-Gi-Oh and Alice. But like I said, the reason why I think he's in the underworld right now is because I think it was one of the way to save his life, and that's why he's in the underworld. But that doesn't explain why he can't communicate with the outside world. He should be able to communicate with the other guys that put him in there. I think there's something way deeper that is happening, but anyway, when he woke up in the underworld, he was remembering his real life with Azuna and everybody, but he didn't remember what happened in the underworld with Alice and Yuji when they were kids. And the craziest thing is, when he woke up, he was not a kid anymore. He was himself. He was the same age as he is right now, I think, in the real world. So that was kind of surprising. And even Yu-Gi-Oh is the same age. So Yu-Gi-Oh said that he said it's been 6 years since Alice was taken away, so he was basically 11 years old then. Now he's at probably like 17 or 18 years old, so it's crazy. Obviously we know that 10 hours in the real world is probably a few years or a few months in the underworld, so that's why the time in the underworld is way faster than in the real world. Yu-Gi-Oh also doesn't remember Kirito, so that's crazy because he basically said that he went to the cave with Alice, they trespassed into the dark territory and she was taken away. So he said he told the story as it was, but he didn't mention Kirito once. He said that he went alone with Alice, so that's crazy because in last week's episode we know that Kirito went with Yu-Gi-Oh and Alice, but now he doesn't remember, so that's something crazy. That's why I think there's something deeper happening in this world and with the creators of this world. I think their name is Wrath. But man, this shit crazy, bro. There's a lot of things happening at the same moment. So yeah, but anyway, Yu-Gi-Oh also said that 6th generation, including him, has worked on cutting this tree and they're still not close to do it. So another thing that's crazy, obviously Kirito was helping him in last week's episode when they were kids. So it's pretty crazy with all of the things that has happened right now. Now we get to the good stuff, bruh. So obviously Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh went to the village and he was challenged basically by another swordsman, and Kirito basically said that his calling was being a swordsman, and he actually is. It's crazy. He actually can use a sword skill in the underworld, and that's why I think he's gonna be able to cut the demon tree with his sword skill so that they can go and find Alice. Obviously Yu-Gi-Oh wanted to go find Alice, but he can't because he has to finish his calling first. But I think that with his Kirito sword skill, he'll be able to cut the tree, and then they'll be able to go to that city that they're talking about. But honestly, it was a pretty cool moment and reminded me a lot of the first half of season 1 when Kirito was going ham on in Sword Art Online. So yeah, it was a pretty cool moment. Now Kirito was explaining something pretty insane at the end of the episode. He basically said that all the people that are in the underworld right now are souls of babies that Rat put in the underworld. So that's pretty crazy. So Yu-Gi-Oh and Alice probably are souls of babies that they put in the underworld. So Rat are something, I don't know, man. I really don't feel well about this organization because they put souls of babies into the underworld, bruh. So I don't know if it's true. That's what Kirito said, but if it's true, man, there's something wrong with them. At the end of the episode we saw this woman. She was naked. I don't know why, but obviously she was in her bedroom, so she can do whatever she wants. Do you, bruh. But I think she'll be a pretty important person in this season of Sword Art Online. We saw her in the opening that I'm gonna talk about in a few seconds, but yeah, I'll talk more about her when I'm gonna break down the opening. So in last week's episode we saw the opening, but I didn't really break it down because there was the end credit scenes. So I wanted to wait and see the opening without the credit scenes. But it was a really good opening in my opinion. I really liked the song. Obviously the animation and art is beautiful, but we'll be talking about the opening and breaking it down. So in this panel, we can see the agent that is working with Kirito. Obviously, we don't trust him because even Kirito said in last week's episode and in season 2 of the Sword Art Online series that he doesn't trust him. But he worked with Kirito in the Death Gun case in season 2 of Sword Art Online. He's working with Kirito in the underworld, so we'll see what he's all about. We also see this other character that we don't really know. He's probably the one that created STL, but we saw this panel right there. We saw it in the Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale movie at the end credit scene. It was a teaser for the new season of Sword Art Online, so that is pretty interesting. In this next panel, obviously we see Asuna, and it seems like she's gonna be a really important character in this season of Sword Art Online. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think about that. But I think she's gonna be really important. It looks like she's maybe on a business trip or working on something. I don't know what, but I think she's gonna be really important. Now, we saw her at the end of the episode. She's still naked for a reason, but she doesn't seem to be a good guy in this series. So I don't know, man. Just her smirk at the end of this week's episode, and now her kind of evil smile in this opening. I don't know what she's all about, but I don't think she's gonna be a good guy. I think she's maybe gonna be an enemy. Maybe she's a queen, an evil queen, or something like that. But we'll see. One of my favorite moments of the opening is when we see Alice. I think it's probably Alice in all the visuals and the promotion for the new Sword Art Online series. It seems like she's Alice. She's way older like Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh, and it seems like she's maybe a knight, so that's crazy. I'm hyped when we'll see her again. I hope she remembers Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh, but obviously she's gonna be really important. I don't know what happened to her after she was captured by one of the knights, but yeah, she has a golden armor, so I guess she's really strong right now. The most important thing in the opening is this picture right there in the next panel that I'm gonna talk about. In this picture we can see Akihiko Kayaba, the creator of Sword Art Online. We can see his assistant, I think, the one that captured Azuna in the virtual world in season 1, the second part of season 1, and we can see, I think, the old guy that we see in the chair is the dad of Yuna, I think, in the Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale movie. So they all knew each other, and I think that's why it's pretty important, because I think that the STL world, the underworld, is the creation that Akihiko Kayaba really wanted to do, but he didn't have time to do it because he killed himself. But that I think is a pretty important picture. The woman next to Akihiko Kayaba, obviously I think it's his wife, because we can see both of them hug each other in the next panel. I don't know how important they will be, but I think they'll be important in the sense of the story and how the underworld has been created. Obviously all these geniuses work together to create it, and maybe we'll get to see who is his wife is, and maybe we'll get to know why Akihiko Kayaba did all of these things. He explained it, but I don't think it's everything that he's saying, you know. So hopefully we'll be able to meet his wife and have more details about everything. But yeah, like I said, this season is going all the way back, man. It's going all the way back to the to season 1, and it's going all the way back to the Ordinal Scale movie. So I think it's a great thing. But at the end of the opening, we saw Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito work together to beat an enemy, I think, and it looks like they're in a swordsman academy. So we know that the skill of Kirito is to sword. He knows how to use a sword. He used a sword skill in this week's episode, so I think Yu-Gi-Oh obviously will be able to do it. But we saw other characters with swords. We saw them. I think it's an academy. I'm not sure, but it seems like they're in a swordsmanship academy. But we'll see maybe in next week's episode. For now, I really like the season. I'm confused, but I like that I'm confused because when we're gonna learn, everything is gonna be amazing. But let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Like I said, I think that he's been put in the underworld to save his life because he was going to die. But I'm hyped, man, for the rest of this season. If you didn't know, it's at least 52 episode season, so a year of Sword Art Online. It's gonna be great. I'm going to review this series every Saturday. So like, comment, share, and subscribe for more review of Sword Art Online Alicization. And I do other anime related things on my channel, other reviews of other shows and anime talk discussions. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.